galactic federations and the systems of light. I'm calling in the highest beings of holy light, Mother and the Father. Calling in the Christ consciousness and the creators of the 13th dimension, 12th dimension. Calling in all of the celestials for those listening now and future now moments. And the protectors of all realms, lower, middle, and the upper realms. We thank you so much for being with us in this protection of our highest expansiveness of the 3 E's, exploration, expression, and experience of who we are as Divine Source Creator. Thank you, Holy Spirit. We're calling in the appropriate guides. We're calling in the appropriate ones that will protect us in all of our communications with Spirit and all of our transversing throughout our ascension protocol, moving into higher and higher frequencies and higher dimensions. We're so grateful. Thank you to everybody that is connecting today. Thank you from all over the world. I know that my show for quite some time and many years, we've had so many people from the UK connect in. So we're so grateful for all the people that listen from all over the world. We're so grateful. So my name is Celeste, and we talk about consciousness here. We're going to say it throughout the show because everybody comes on in the live chat and they ask, what are you talking about? We talk about consciousness. We talk about the higher self and the lower self coming together to combine into that dodec, into that sacred geometry and the Merkaba. And as the Merkaba is activated in the various points of light, as that Merkaba is activated, after the clearing of your chakras and the rotating of your chakras, it oscillates in greater light. And so therefore, that's then the alignment of who you are with your higher self. And the higher self and the lower self coming down to meet each other, creating that Merkaba, that Star of David. And then it creates that toroidal that is experienced as Elijah. That was the experience that Elijah had that was outlined in the Bible. And the experience that you just go into a ball of light, which is probably correct from the low 3D perspective, and you move in your Merkaba. So in the future timelines, that's how we will be traveling and traversing the multiverse. There are celestials, obviously, that have light ships. And so today they wanted to talk about full disclosure. I don't know what it's about, so Father's just going to give me whatever information. Full disclosure, as well as our understanding of disclosure, is going to be unique to each and every person because each and every person has different parts of their DNA activated. That's how your consciousness truly primarily is. Hello, sweetheart. Oh, well, lovely. I can't wait to hear about it. You're going to have to let me know. And so in that, the DNA kind of opens up the expansiveness of, where you've been on the other realm. So as this codon opens, it's giving you the consciousness activation that will support, that will uplift, and that will also help activate in the cascading effect to the other codons. So the consciousness is a hard word, and it's challenging to explain to those in a very linear, logical perspective. Consciousness is multidimensional. It can be no other way. That's why it's only allowed us. Consciousness is the activation of your enmeshment with Source Creator. It is the knowing that all that you are is a multidimensional being, and your heart is a multidimensional access as well. The consciousness of the Christ exists within the water body, it exists within the chakras, and it exists within the DNA. So as this Christ consciousness is activated, the multidimensionality of who we are, you become a higher frequency orb of experience of sacred geometry, of the design of Source. Source interacting with Source, right? The source of me interacting with Source Creator, the grander Source, the grander holographic experience of Source. Consciousness is multidimensional. Consciousness is your interactivity of who you are within all that you are, the magnetics of who you are with all that is creation, also quantum and also magnetic. So all that we rotate within as a planet is magnetics. Our planet has magnetic grids. Our planet sends us information, and we also get magnetic information as well as other quantum codes of information. These codes of science, these codes of light that interact with who we are, changes and alters who we are. As the light comes into who we are, we're activated, we think differently, we get inspired in different ways, we get activated in different ways. There's information of quantumness in our chakras. Our chakras are activated. But primarily it does begin, a lot of the multidimensionality begins in the DNA. As the codons are activated, it sends light rippling through the chakra systems. You might have an activation in the sacral, and that sacral sends, again, information, which are codes, which is information, to the rest of your multidimensional aspects. You then start pulsating out to the all that is, to the all that is, all the way up to the dimensions and all the way that is any way that source creator is. You start pulsating and emanating that new code. One of the very first things that Jesus had told me when I first awakened was that you will be known by your light. So you're not known by a name, you're not known by, the things that we think we're known by. We're known by the multidimensionality of who we are, because the higher realms exist within understanding light, how light operates, the coding of light. So multidimensionality and consciousness are one and the same. It's how we understand who we are, and what we exist within, and what exists within us, what is truly within us. There's no such thing as junk DNA. It's just something that was called by people that don't understand multidimensionality. They don't understand consciousness. They don't understand God creator. Source creator designs every codon with you in the grander soul's blueprint at the 13th dimension before you even come here, of who you are, what you exist within, what's going on within you, the soul family you belong to, the themes you're meant to express and explore, and all of these codons have little families of information based on where you've been, where you're going to go, the dreams and the themes you'd like to co-create, and source creator is the only one that knows such. Of course, your teams from the 7th dimension up have to have access, and they know all of this because they've been with you in every dimension. They're just other aspects of you. And they have access to go in and help enhance. They have access to go in and put light on. They have access to help you change and transmute the density. But it's your job to transmute 51% of your karma to have that DNA activated. That's why we ask all the time. We promote you and we enhance you and empower you all the time. How important is your soul's progression? Because your soul's progression is going to lean into the alchemy, which we talk about alchemy and ascension, how your soul progresses, the excitement, and all of those things and all those energies that we promote helps you bring in the light that activates your DNA. So if your DNA is not activated, it's going to be hard to activate those other aspects of your multidimensionality. Your multidimensionality allows you to accept, acknowledge, and allow more source creator. And what does that mean? It means that you're becoming more conscious, more consciously aware, your consciousness. Your consciousness knows that here you have a thread, you have a download that's been downloaded by your Syrian team. You have a thread over here that's been downloaded from one of your past timelines that you have to heal. This is what I see as a seer. I see a field. I see threads of light. That's what I see. And then I can see energies. They're like waves. I see waves of energies that are touching parts of the field that need to be healed. I see dark patches. One time I was given a picture of a brain, and there was a dark shadow on the brain. And then I was able to tell the person, you might want to go get assessed. Hello, sweetheart. Which Jamie are you? Give me an experience if you're the Jamie that I think you are. Akash Records. Because if you're the Jamie that I think you are, where the hell have you been? And why is it taking you so long to get in touch with me? So put something in the chat room so I know it's you, because you're going to know about a specific experience that you and I've had, along with a couple other people. Yeah, I love you. Where the hell have you been? What the hell? I miss you. What the hell? Yes, where have you been? I think about you all the time. What the hell? You know my email, Joanna Cosmic Angel. Get in touch with me. We watched light ships together one night with about 30 other people. We were on the rock in Sedona. We were on the Red Rock watching light ships. That's my brother. How you doing, sweetie? I miss you so much. I miss you, I miss you, I miss you. So now we're going to go totally galactic. That's why, because Father God said we're going to talk about full disclosure today. And who shows up? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you, sweetie. Say hi to your wife for me and all your beautiful children and your dogs. Did you have a stroke, Jamie? How come you didn't tell me? Sweetie, you'll have to contact. Anyway, email me, sweetie. Email me. Yeah, I'm sending you both love, sweetie. So that's what consciousness is, and Jamie's got tons of experience in the whole ascension thing. So we're going to have fun here today. We're going to send him some beautiful love and light through our celestials, and we're going to call on Archangel Michael and the archangels. Can you please send Jamie an angel, a group of angels, to help heal his body and heal his cells and heal his spirit and soul? Please send Jamie some angels for the weekend, please. We're going to send him extra light. We love Jamie. Jamie's done a lot for the collective for ascension and awakening. We love you so much, Jamie. And so consciousness is this idea, and it's this abstract, it's a very eclectic experience of understanding who you are as a multidimensional existence, what's going on within you, in everything that you are, right down to the codons that are in your DNA. As the codons get light, as each codon, each little segment here of codon gets light, it then activates through your multidimensional systems. It could be a memory, it could be a vision, it could be something that you just remember how to do. You don't know how to do it because you never trained in it, but you just know how to do what you do. So those are the activations of what has been told, what the team's told me. It's in your mRNA, and your mRNA is the part of the divine feminine memory of the DNA. They've told me that's where the Akashic is. The Akashic records are in the mRNA. So the mRNA is what gets activated, and those codons, that when they turn on to light, they send multidimensional information like neurons. You send these neuron sparks of light through the all that you are, And that could be something in your field that gets activated because maybe there's a download in your field that your teams gave you 2 years ago that is now activated by that light, which then sparks a memory, which we know that memories are also held in the field because your brain doesn't actually hold all those things. Your brain is just a tool to access all that you are multidimensionally. So we're going to move into higher vibrational explanations of all that you are, what exists within you, and what you truly exist within the holographic experience of you're just this micro macro source creator. So as source gets activated, source sends you what you love to do, what you're excited about, why the 3 E's are so important. Exploration, experience, and expression of who you are as source. As you're activating all of those 3 E's, you then send out that aspect of light to source. They're all source, they're all pulsations of light. Source says, okay, let's send her another activation. Let's give her more light. So it's a quantum enmeshment, it's a quantum oneness. Source speaks to you through quantum reality, and you speak through source. It's all through light. It's all through the pulsations of who you are. We use words and we use things because it's just how we're used to as humans in a lower dimension, and we're density. But as we raise in frequency, our cells start to oscillate differently. We start to become more multidimensional. That's why we do have to prepare for full disclosure. Because the beings that stand before us, they don't communicate and operate in the ways that we do. They communicate and operate in higher vibrational ways in their full multidimensionality. They operate more in light. They understand that the cells hold light. They understand that there's vibrational fields that their bodies exist within, and the densities does affect their fields. It affects how they are in health. It affects their muscles and their tissues. So we want to understand that the more we understand as who we are as light and the fields that we exist within, right? The fields that we exist within, the aura, the causal field, the emotional field, all of these things affect our health. It affects who we are as the micro and the macro source creator, constantly communicating with each other from the pulsations that we're sending out. The brain is a multidimensional tool that helps us get and garner the information from the multidimensionality of all that we are. But it's your consciousness. And you can write this down and think about it. It will take you somewhere different. If you have this as a code, this is a download. This is what we call a Christ code. This is what I offer in my offerings because I'm a multidimensional healer. I'm a vibrational healer. I'm a vibrational conduit. I'm a vibrational seer. I'm one with source. So this is a code I'm going to give you. Consciousness is the enmeshment of energy in your oneness with source, as source, of source. In, of, as spirit. In, of, as spirit. Who are you? What do you exist within? And what is within you? Source is, of course, all outer as well as all inner. As you awaken into the multidimensionality, the all that is, it's not in a box, but you can also put it in a box because God is this and that. Source is this and that. So that allows you to have the smallest experience of who you are to the grandest experience of who you are. And we call, as you awaken in consciousness, you are operating in what may seem as the same physical package, but we know that as you rise in consciousness, your light factor changes. You garner more light. Your cells actually rotate faster. Your chakras rotate faster. So that's why we want to, as we've said in all of our offerings, think and honor light. Work with your light every night. Do your light healing sessions at night, because the more you call in light, the more that you're harmonizing in light and grounding all that you are every day, you're going to start working and just be habit that you're just working with light. You're talking with light. And that's the name of my fourth book, The Alliance with Light. The alliance with light means that no matter what the outer is allowing you to see as your reflection, the holographic reflection, no matter what it's showing you back, your alliance with light can start to change. What are you offering now and what's coming back to you? You might have offered the negative, you might have offered a karmic experience, but when you neutralize and center at your heart, you're going to now pull into a new frequency because you get to choose. No, I'm going to choose now. I want to explore who I am as source. I want to express who I am as source, and I want to experience myself all as light. I want to start working with this light factor. What does this light factor help me do? Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and sexually. Once you start harmonizing light in all of your multidimensional factors, physical, mentally, emotional, spiritual, sexual, all of these things as light, thinking light, breathing light, experiencing light, talking about light, all of these things are new ways to experience Source Creator. Source Creator is the all that is consciousness. Source is everything. Source is all things. Source is this just in a grander, highest, like if you can imagine, this is the most all that is, that's source. So when I see something and I'm given downloads, usually I'm given fields. It looks like this. It looks like waves and waves of field. This is what I see. Then I'm given pictures of the body. If somebody's standing before me, my field interacts with everybody before me. Because my field is, can you give me a word source so that these people will understand how my fields interact with your field? So if you just want to open up your heart chakras and your pillar of light, because Source saying that our vibrations are picking up in the room here. Our collective consciousness, because we are a unity factor of one. So visualize the pillar of light that runs along your spine. It is a pure crystalline pillar of light. We talk about consciousness on this channel. We're calling in the pure crystalline Christed light that runs along the spine. And as it runs along the spine, it also has the chakras that rotate around this pillar of light. So this pillar of light feeds your chakras pure crystalline light. So see your chakras, and you can just tell your chakras out loud. Activate your chakras through your voice. I'm asking my chakras to open and rotate around my pillar of light. So say that as an intention. You want to start commanding your body to activate within your Christ consciousness. These are your tools. These are your tips to become more Christ consciousness, to become more multidimensional. Your chakras and your pillar of light are the first activations with your breath, with your voice, and with your intention that activate your consciousness. Who you are at the most expansive level in your memory as a cellular being, as a molecular being, as a spirited being, as a matter being with Source Creator. These are truths. These are quantum truths. This is how we activate consciousness. Our Christ consciousness is crystalline. It feeds your chakras crystalline light. So take a deep breath in and intend to breathe in crystalline light. However your third eye shows that crystalline light looks. It looks as effervescent, crystalline, transparent, crystal gold, crystal silver, pure white. It's always transparent. That white light feeds and starts circulating and feeding all of your chakras in a circular motion. So see the pillar of light feeding your chakras in a circular motion, feeding that crystalline light. It feeds all of your chakras going up and down the spine, all the way up. Breathe in light, breathe in light, breathe in light. And slowly ground with a slow exhale. Slowly exhale. You want to be in control of your breath. Gentle exhale, gentle exhale. Now see the pillar of light grounding into the planet, grounding into the sands and the soils. And say out loud, I am grounding my multidimensionality within the grids and the beauty that is Gaia and her multidimensionality. I am grounding myself within Gaia. I am grounding myself within Gaia. I am grounding myself within Gaia and her multidimensional grids. Because now your multidimensionality, you are the bridge. It's what's meant by the bridge of ascension. You are the bridge of ascension. You're activating your multidimensionality of Christ consciousness, Metatronic light, Metatronic cellular activity, Metatronic DNA activity, Metatronic codon activity, all that is you in your water body as Christ consciousness. This is how you activate it, and you must say it out loud. Because you want your cells, you want your skin, you want your body, you want your field, you want your home, you want the fields that are electromagnetic in your home to start recognizing that you are the commandmentship of your new multidimensional experience. Who are you? What do you exist within? And what's going on within you? You need to guide it. This is what we teach you. We don't teach you to surrender to anything or anyone outside of you. You want to reclaim your power, you want to reclaim your light, and you want to be that commandmentship of multidimensionality, which was the Christ, which was Lord Sananda, which was Saint Germain, which is all the heavenly beings. Celestians, Pleiadians, Arcturians, they understand light. It is the harmonic of Source Creator. And yes, this light also exists in darkness because it's just another version of light. It's just a very dark light. So it's all source. It's just a matter of how fast does it oscillate? What is the density of it? How does it function as a quantum energy, etc. You have to experience it. It's all source. This and that are true. So we want to start allowing ourselves to create better patterns, better behavior. It's not going to be karmic anymore. We're going to create higher vibrational, higher entrainment, light activity. We want to start behaving as Christ consciousness. We want to start behaving as higher vibrational light. Because what does this do? Thank you, Source. Thank you, Holy Father. Thank you, Holy Father. This allows us to feel into the Christ consciousness, which is also connected to, and you can put an equal sign, Christ consciousness equals full disclosure. How you need in your multidimensionality at this very point in time, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, sexual, and all that you are as a DNA, right down to the micro, down to the quark, right down to the molecular structure of who you are. You need to know at your level, what is your version of full disclosure? It's not a matter of waiting for a collective leader or a politician to say this is our full disclosure. No, your full disclosure begins within you and Source Creator. Why? Because you're the commandmentship of all that you are now. You're now commanding how your reality reviews it back to you, the holographic experience. This is what we all want you to get used to and training yourself as. And it might feel very strange and you might feel like you're walking around in the dark trying to find the light switch, and that's okay. Start there. We want you to be triggered in all these ways because your reality and your soul's progression, while we always ask you, how important is your soul's progression? It's very important. I'm the commander of it. Nobody, any day, in any way, has any more power over me than I do. I have the full power. I have full control. I have full access. I have full everything over my light and how it operates and how I operate within it, as a spirit. So we want you to get used to reclaiming your power, reclaiming your light, and knowing that you are a multidimensional version of Source Creator. You are the micro, you are the macro, and what does that allow you to experience? When you get activated and triggered, when you have those negative emotions or experiences, or whatever is showing up in your reality, you absolutely know that it's a part of your 51% of your karma in a divine feminine energy and experience, or a divine masculine energy and experience, your psyche wounding. Those psyche fragments are a part of what you've agreed to heal. You've agreed to heal it. You've agreed to say, okay, anything that I've ever been an experience as, anything that I've experienced, I know that I can now integrate it because I know how to understand, I know how to work with light now. And you integrate it into your wholeness, and your field changes. Your field no longer has that density anymore. It's now more of a harmonizing, and it's now circulating in a more harmonious experience. That's why when we say full disclosure, the beings that are going to be presenting themselves to us, or their bodies and their, how they look, they're very light. Their bodies are not filled with a lot of density and a lot of chaos. So we have to be very prepared about the beings and the like myself, I have a different energy, and why people, when they come into my field activates their field. And they feel it sometimes right away, because when they're walking around in a collective that's turned off, that's negative, that's in lower vibrational beliefs, no beliefs at all, no spiritual beliefs at all, just church and state, they're being activated in a quantum multidimensional consciousness way. Their consciousness is activated by standing in front of me. This quantum field, which I hone and I work with every day, I hone and I work with Source every day, this is more Source activated than anybody standing before me. So my Source field will activate that which is in front of me. However, Source Father, in my Divine Soul's blueprint, the elegance of Source Creator in my Divine Soul's blueprint will change and activate my field whenever Source wants to, because in our higher selves, Source is asking, and I am also, to become more and more with Source. Therefore, that's then in the coding of me and in the blueprint of me, when I'm in my 3 E's, my exploration, my experience, and my expression of source, all that I am a source, just moving about life in the best way that I can, I then command my reality. I then command my experience. I then command the fields. I command the universe to converge around me. That's why my voice is. That's why I am ranked. Because I've also been through all of the initiations and all the things that you have to go through in your minutia of, releasing your karma and moving into a higher state of being. You have to work with light in an intelligent way. Source is not going to give you a whole profound blessing of power if you're not going to use it properly. You have to be able to use and honor light properly, because you do. You affect everybody around you. The magic of all the cults and covens that have been doing magic for 12 or 20 years, they're now getting a whole bunch of karma. They've been given a lot of time to work with universal laws. They've been given a lot of time to work out their issues and their wounds of why they did what they did. So if they're not showing the universe that they're working on why they did what they did, what wounding were they sitting in? Jealousy or envy or greed or gluttony or selfishness. If they're not creating that sense of self in an aligned way to 5D, if they're not higher aligning to Source Creator, the Sacred Trinity, the blueprint, if they're not aligning their soul's blueprint, they're not going to be given any blessings. You're not going to move ahead. Why would you? You're at the same level of consciousness. You have a zero consciousness. Everybody walking away today, from here on out, you are a field of multidimensionality. Your cells, how you operate, what you say and what you do, how you understand yourself, all that you promote yourself, all that you command yourself, your thought, your words, your deeds, it affects all that you are. It affects everyone else. We must get this. This is the pivotal, grounding, key lesson. It's a key belief that everyone must get moving into 5D unity consciousness. Because when you say something, it actually affects that person that you say it to. That's why we've had to learn these lessons through black magic, voodoo, and occultism. Because you're not going to get what you want by doing magic all the time. You will have to be brought down, and your teams will absolutely bring you an ego death every single time you're not dealing with your wounds on why you have to hurt people all the time to get what you want. As we said, to be the highest version of a 13th dimensional being and all dimensions in between, you never ever have to go outside of you to get anything that you want or experience, as we've shown you. All the way up to the 13th dimension. You don't have any, there's nothing that you need outside of your DNA, outside of all that Source has gifted you as the Christ toolkit. Your DNA, understanding light, how to work with light, which is the light wisdoms, intelligences, which I've been telling the world leaders to get out there as soon as possible. Because once you start learning how to work with who you are, when you start understanding who you truly are, church and state doesn't offer this to you. That's why church and state is allowing you to be led down the hollow road. There's nothing down that church and state road except for Epstein agendas. The luring into trafficking, the luring into selling any bits and parts of you. And my case study and the discriminations and the human rights against me will show you it. We'll show you 17 different crimes that were done on me throughout my entire life to have me suppressed and repressed and depressed so I didn't come forth and teach this. That's just my one gift. What about the billions on the planet that have other gifts, that have other multidimensional gifts? I'm inspiring you to be that of. Don't be like me. You are me. You're a multidimensional version of Source. You're a perfection of Source. Who are you? Go within and start doing the work. Do your daily path work every day, right? Get your journal out. Do your path work every day. Look at who you are in the moment. How can you realign to a higher belief? How can you start in training yourself to higher vibrational beliefs, thoughts, and deeds? Align in the center at your divine sacred heart, and then start using the 3 E's. I want to explore myself, express myself, and experience myself as Source. I want to know myself as light. Intend that. Intend to be higher consciousness. Consciousness is what Commander Ashtar gave me 2 years ago. Go back to my tapes, go back to my videos. Anything that I've labeled aptitude and capacity, that's consciousness. Consciousness is the all self, the spiritual self, the soul self of you. As you're working on your soul fragments, you become the dodecahedron. You become all that this is. This is the dodecahedron. This is the dodecahedron. Different facets of who you are coming online because you've integrated, you've healed it. It's not separate from you anymore. The more whole you are, the more you become unity consciousness. We're no longer in separation or discrimination or defamation or subjugation or suppression. We are now fully activated in our Source wholeness. We've brought light to that soul fragment that was out of balance, that was out of your wholeness, that was out of discrimination. Why? Because you held a belief about yourself. You held a discrimination about yourself. So now you're going to heal it. And it just shows itself to you in the outer reality. It's a holographic reality. If there is something here, it will pulsate out to the reality and it will show itself back to you. You then sit there and say, okay, why did that happen to me? Where is my trigger? Let's integrate this. You bring it light, you bring it the 3 A's, you acknowledge it. Okay, well, I had some discrimination there. Let's acknowledge this. I was discriminating against you. I'm going to acknowledge it. I acknowledge that that was my story. It was something I held separate from me. You now accept it as a part of your story. I understand that I'm the full alchemist of me. I want this to be a part of my story because now I can choose to neutralize all of those beliefs, to neutralize those themes. There's nothing for me to fear. You and I are both the same. We're just different versions. We're just different views. We're just different looking through the window, right? The many mansions. You're just on the top floor in the 3rd bedroom on the right, and I'm down on the 1st floor in the 2nd bedroom on the left. Same house, same godliness, same source creator mansion. We're just in different homes. We're just in different boxes. We're just in different aspects of the sphere, right? It's all still you, still source, this and that. So all of the holograph that's a source, you're now saying, I get this, and I'm going to accept it. When you accept it, you're going to feel a click. And this is how I teach what I teach, because I know. All my books, when I offer what I teach, is because I have a quantum click. That's right, that clicks, all of that density is then transmuted into light. And you will feel certain biophysical things in your body. You will feel certain things in your body or your field. You'll start to feel things that say, wow, I got that. That's cognizing. It's also been called as cognizing. When you get something and you've just altered who you are. Sometimes it's also called as a paradigm shift because you can no longer go back to being dense. You can no longer go back to being small in the little box stores in the mall, as we've talked about over and over. A mall that has 350 stores and all 350 stores are congruently equal to church and state. Different beliefs, different ideologies, different expectations, different sociologies, different familial expectations, all of those things. You go into a different store and they want you to behave and act in a certain way. Good, get used to all of it. Go and practice all of it. But it's not all that Source is. Source is beyond that mall store. Source is everything. So why discriminate about it? Just go in, have your fun, practice it a little, and then move on. Source creator is all things. So why would you attack one store because it doesn't look like your store, it doesn't act like your store, or it doesn't wear the same headpieces you wear? It's still source. The leaders of the world must take these classes immediately and they must start meditating on who they are with source. Because the world shouldn't be in the issues that it is in various places like Gaza and Yemen. These places should not look like they look. If the leaders were truly doing the work, if the leaders were truly aligned with source, if the leaders were truly aligned with caring for unity, consciousness, and the people and the lands, they would absolutely be taking classes in consciousness. Because they know everything that they do is going to come back to them, and whether it's a sinkhole underneath their house or whether it's their children getting sick or whatever it is that they love, that will come back to them, and Source Creator will make sure that that holographic experience will be seen. It must. You cannot move around in a unity consciousness ascending world and not care about 30% of the people on the planet. No, all is whole. It's all whole. We're now changing a higher vibrational entrainment of ideologies and beliefs. It's all source. It's all one. Just as we said in our video the other day. In a 5th dimensional Pleiadian experience, there's no religions. There's no mall. It's all source. They understand the concept of oneness. They're not going to discriminate against their knee. If this was the whole body, they're not going to say, well, I'm not going to accept my knee over here because it's my knee. It's not my nose or my eyes. It's not something that people look at first. No, I'm going to discriminate against my knee, which could be Yemen. It could be another parable for Yemen or Gaza because of the historical religious beliefs. They don't understand that just the other lifetime, in another timeline, in another thread, in another wave, this person was born in that exact place. But they didn't accept themselves in that timeline, so they're coming in with this discrimination. So now they have to accept it, the 3 A's. I'm going to acknowledge it. Yes, I've got some issues there with Gaza. What is it that I got going on with Gaza? And you accept it and you acknowledge it and you bring it into your story. You then bring light to this part of yourself and you're now going to move the energy that's in that body part, right? Maybe you had a bummed knee. There's energy there. We hold energy based on the stories we tell, whatever that part of the body is, that we've given it access to. There are many woundings. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. We do access our body in ways of things that have happened to us in various aspects of the planet, of the locations of the planet. Like, again, the many wars that have happened, in Europe. If we were injured in a place of Europe, if we were stabbed by an arrow in the back in Europe, those energies will stay in those parts of the field. And then you won't want to go to Europe. You'll have that connection. You'll have that energetic connection there. It's all quantum. There's stories of the European energy telling you that of your body part. There's stories that are going back and forth there. That is called an imprint. That quantum imprint is going to be there until you consciously cognize a new story. That's what's called recoding. You can recode who you are, DNA, and all that is, and start creating new neurons that tell all that you are, yes, I'm going to be new. And this is done in a lot of the work if you read any of Joe Dispenza's books. You're going to recode. You're going to create new neurons, neural pathways. You're going to tell all that you are as a quantum being. No, this is done. This is done. This is done. I've got it healed. I'm going to bring light to it. In the higher realms, this is how we operate. It's a full disclosure of who I am, what's going on within me, and what do I exist within the holographic experience, saying that I'm ready for more contact. I'm ready for more source energy. I'm ready for more light. I'm ready for more communion in relationship. And what have we asked? What have we offered all of you as far as alignment? The highest alignment of everything. Intimacy, ecstasy, love, creation, creativity, being the highest version of you, being loved in the highest version of you, being accepted in the highest version of you, being belonging in the highest version of you. All of those things that a beautiful human wants to experience and wants to explore why we awaken. Because there's aspects of us that are not being touched and felt and known. We're not feeling how we can truly feel. We're not being fulfilled in the way that we can feel. So those things are purposeful. It's called the awakening. Quantumly, you're awakening to something that's missing, something that's not being felt, something that's not being touched, something that's not being expressed, something that's not being experienced. Why? Because you're a holograph of the beautiful source creator, and source wants you to feel whole. If source wants you to know what a garden feels like consciously inside and out, smell, scent, otherwise, you can go inside the consciousness of a flower and you can be that flower. That's called operating with source consciousness. There's nothing outside of you that puts a limit on your consciousness. And why? Most of all of our inventions on the planet, technology, will all change. Because we now have the creative consciousness, we're now equal to source. We've told our brains, we've entrained it, I'm one with source. I talk to my cells, I talk to my field, I'm calling in the inventiveness that's going to match with my capacity and aptitude. I can expand and compress and contract with source. That's how I've tried to explain the essence. The essence of consciousness is the inhale. You're calling in source. And there's energies, there's stories, there's essences, there's vibration, there's coding. That's just within the inhale. It's infinite. The inhale is infinite. The exhale is infinite. They're balanced, they're matched, they're both needed, they're both required. The divine feminine, the divine masculine are both required. The energies they both have are both required. They heal your chakras and the axonal lines of everything within your body. That is what we've talked about. The fluid transfer of energy, what we will be in 5D, is more androgynous, where energy flows through the axonal systems, through the left and right versions of all that we are, through all that we are, and why most people on the planet that experience themselves as trans, regardless of what body type they're in, this is how they experience their life. They're very fluid with being divine feminine or divine masculine, no matter what energy body they sit within. Matter body. They're here to teach us that it's very easy to be in greater flow. So why do we judge it? Why are we separating? Why are we discriminating? Again, heal your wounds, heal your triggers. Now we just need, why do we have those triggers? Let's go back to a core vibration and write this down. It's very important. We have the triggers because humanity has been kept, because we've chosen, it's been our free will, we have chosen to stay suppressed within low consciousness. If I offer you a higher consciousness experience, like I just said about the axonal lines and energy moving back and forth between divine feminine and masculine frequencies of the body in and of itself, how the body is axonal, how the body has different touch points of energy, and what acupuncture is all based on, the energy flowing back and forth to your divine feminine, divine masculine body and your energies, your kundalini, and why kundalini therefore does have kumasatra. These are all divine feminine energies that are divine masculine, divine feminine energies that are meant to make you feel whole. That's the true orgasm. Is when you've given that harmonization of whatever it is you're doing in the flow of your kundalini, of the flow of your life force, you're finding that perfect harmonization of divine masculine and feminine, then the orgasm moves. So if I'm giving you these higher vibrational, higher consciousness explorations of what really light is and how you can start manifesting light and working with light in different ways to actually lift your light frequency, to lift your life force, to bring light to your life force, to bring light to the old vibrational beliefs that were just misguided and wrong, zero spiritual knowledge on the planet, zero spiritual connection to who you are as light, to who you are as Metatron, to who you are as Source Creator. So if you don't have those teachings, then you're going to be very limited. You're not going to evolve. You're going to go into entropy. You're going to go into Epstein Earth because you're going to look for more and more ways to play with your life force. And if you're not educated and if you're not intelligent, you're going to do it in debaucherous ways because you're not healed. Nobody's teaching you how to heal. That's why I've been suppressed for most of my life, because they knew that I had the word. They knew that I am prophecy. They know that my tongue is. They know that my word is. They know that I've come here for a very specific reason. I am the prophecy. I am the Messiah. And my word and my teachings and my intentions actually changes creation. That's why I'm here. Source Creator and I have a very entangled blueprint. I intend that. As Source is, I am. As Source states, I am. I speak, I see. I speak what I see. I speak what I sense and know. That's my oneness factor. I inspire all of you. Get in touch with your oneness factor. What is it? Who are you? What's going on within you? Talk about it, express it, experience it, alchemize it, turn it into light. Then you become more whole and harmonized. You become a bigger version of you, become the whole self of you. You're not operating half of you or a quarter of you. No, I'm all of me. I want all of me to have light. I want to talk about and express all things. Why can't I? Why can certain people on the planet be so limited and so dark and so satanic and so hateful, but I can't be all of me? Why can't I be all of me? I teach the exact teachings that assist you in becoming a healed version of Source. You're healed. There's no density in you. Light's flowing through you. You got it going on. Go for it. Create whatever you want to create. That's manifesting. You're manifesting a whole version of you. It's light. You're harmonized. You're bringing it back together. You're not putting yourself out. You're not discriminating against yourself. You're not pushing it away. You're not saying, no, that doesn't exist. You're not saying, no, that's not good. No, you're going to say it all in. Let's work with this. Put it on the table. Work it out. Integrate it. When you integrate it, you're saying, I want you in. I want you inside of my wholeness. You're just one with me. I get that. I'm one with you. You're one with me. Let's integrate this. Let's make this light. That's when your creativity really starts moving, because what is there to be afraid of? Why are you afraid of calling someone in that might have full movement of their androgynous energy? As we said, on a 5D planet, they're androgynous. They prefer to be in a divine masculine experience because usually in the 5D experience, they are working fully with their counterparts. They do have a divine feminine counterpart. They do have a divine masculine counterpart, and they have the bodies that they choose to be in. Usually anything beyond the sixth dimension, they are fully integrated, and they still have, as far, I was talking to my seventh dimensional guide, and he was working at the higher levels with his counterpart as far as, what were you working with, sweetie, when you were telling me you and your counterpart were working on holding light octaves? There were him and his counterpart, because we were moving up an octave, me and my divine feminine masculine energies were moving up an octave, which means that he and his divine counterpart were working on holding specific light octaves for me as I move up, right? Because my body's going to need something different. So my body's going to need a different octave in my field, right? Different energy in my field. So that's what my teams work on. Because I'm the lower cascading version of them, right? I'm the lower version of them. So if there's a version of me that they need, they're going to work on that light. They're going to look at it in their crystalline, little operating rooms that they have. And they're going to say, okay, Celeste needs this energy because there's been so much damage to this area of the body. Let's work on our light resonance. Let's work on harmonics. And because I'm really connected with sound, a lot of my healing that I do is with sound and light codes and light language. That's why I use my voice in all of my speakings. And that's why they've been attacking my voice for so long. But Source has now called everything off, as we talked about before. We're now in this new dimension. I'm now in a new octave. I now have extra people and beings and consciousness protecting me. And now I get to just move forward and express all that I am, because Source said She is now on her reign, which I've commanded, I've entrained, and I teach you in my classes, in my sessions, in my ascension sessions, my healing sessions, my activations. Anything that you take with me, I teach you how to be the commandmentship. I teach you how to be sovereign. I teach you how to reclaim your light with source so that you can then go forward in your own path and you can have these beautiful co-creations and communions with Source Creator, your teams, and the Karma Board. So that you can make sure that you're staying on top of things. You can make sure you're working with your teams every day. You can make sure that you're preparing first contact, whatever full disclosure looks like for you. Because for everybody on the planet, we're going to be, full disclosure is going to mean something for somebody different, because what we want to inspire here, they're just showing me. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Commander Ashtar. So Commander Ashtar is here. Full disclosure, in this co-creative collective experience, as we're all sitting together in these beautiful assemblies of light, this is what I call this. We connect in an assembly of light. It's a big circular room, and all of the species from all of the planets and all the galaxies and Mother, Father, God, the energy and the consciousness meets in a big circular dome. This is what I see when we all connect. I see your spirit guides. I see your angelics. I see your little alien friends. I see your family that are passed on. This is what I see. So in this big circular experience of energy, Source is now saying, and Source is giving the activations. There's another activation. There's another code. It's a Christ code. I vibrate in codes. Source is saying, because each and every one of you are at a different pace and a different rate and a different stage of your ascension. You've activated different aspects of your DNA, of who you are, Source. Remember, if you are a full dodecahedron, 100% with Source, you will not be in a body. You will be fully light. But you're not. You're all still in the process of ascension. You're understanding what ascension is all about, integrating your soul fragments, and you must all integrate to a point of 51%. That is when you will ascend with your Merkaba, with your team's help, with your celestials' help, into a fifth dimensional experience where you manifest from thought. But you must get very practiced with your thought, because many of you are just not healed. And if you manifest from your thought, most of you would not be here. Because you're very negative in your thoughts, you're very dark in your thoughts, and you need to sort out why, and you need to love yourself and heal yourself. It's very real. What we're talking about is very real. And why those have been set before you that have been initiated. They've been absolutely aligned with their potentials and their gifts and their magic. They don't use and abuse their magic. They lift and they uplift and they learn. They want to be the dodecahedron. So in this discussion of full disclosure, you might be at a 28% of your 100%. And 28 less 51 is what? So you have that much karma to work through and integrate those other divine feminine, divine masculine aspects. These are all quantum here, delighted ones. Let's talk math. Math of your soul, quantumness of your soul, the consciousness of your soul. As we said, consciousness is never qualitative. It's quantitative. Sorry, it's qualitative. That's right. Because if you just done a soul fragment of something very, like I talked about that Arcturian where I was on the table, that's a qualitative experience. That carried a lot of a percentage, if you will. But how are you going to gauge? How are you going to study? How are you going to test? If you have 100 people in front of you, you have one soul that's been there 1,000 times on Earth in the different planets of Earth, and if that one soul fragment healing brought an inclusion of, say, 11 to 12% of being healed in their consciousness, the other 99 people would not have the same. So again, you cannot gauge consciousness of the planet in that way. You cannot. Because there are some statements that have been out there in that. If you have 100 people and another 100 people, their consciousness is equal. It absolutely isn't. Absolutely not. It's not. You're not thinking in ways of multidimensionality on any level, not even a speck. You've said oftentimes, one that sees at a 3D level through the eyes and through the brain and through what is possible in the ideologies, expectations, what has been taught and shown and told, dogmatic church and state, is not what an entrained 5D being is. That 5D being will look through the telescope and see something absolutely different. It will see the capacity of, the aptitude of, the consciousness of that version of percentage of consciousness of source. Still not at 100% of source, because otherwise you'd be a 13th dimensional consciousness creator with source creator. You'd be fully light. You'd be fully harmonic. But you're not. We're talking still in the body form. So say that one fragment of integration that was very painful, that included many, many lifetimes. Many, many lifetimes of being ostracized, many lifetimes of being enslaved, many lifetimes of being abused, many lifetimes of being dissected, many lifetimes of not being accepted. That one Arcturian experience carried a lot of weight. qualitative. It was a lot of quality in that healing. It went through a lot of different fragments of energy, a lot of different facets of the dodecahedron. Therefore, thus then, when that one fragment gets integrated and healed, and it doesn't happen just like that, obviously, as we know, because that's multidimensionality. You must go through the days of integration. As I said, it took me 3 days to heal that one experience. That had a lot of juice with it, had a lot of impact. That's when we call doing the work. You sit down the next day and you talk about what happened the day before. I felt this, I felt that. Boy, I had some visions, I had some dreams. I was accepting myself a little bit more. I wasn't feeling so bad for not being accepted, and they hurt me and they actually dissected me. They used me just for my body parts. They used me for my DNA. A lot of humans on the planet will have to go through these very traumatic experiences. Why? We've talked about it in all of my coming forward. With the abuses of trafficking, covert abuse, harvesting. Harvesting is that. Harvesting is the absolute ignorance of who you are as a divine sacred soul, and you're being used for your body parts. You're being used for your organs. You're being used for your energy. It's a very selfish, very hurtful, very horrible experience, and it has to be integrated. I was literally harvested while I was sitting on the Area 51 table as an Aksharayan being. They dissected me, they harvested me. They harvested every part of me. Luckily, I have some of that harvesting back in the body that I am existing in now. I'm highly celestial, not only from that one dissection, but many of the other attributes that Source has also given me in this lifetime. But I'm activated now, I'm integrated all that point of me. That's why I remember that soul experience, because I integrated it. It's now online, I've turned it to light, it's not shut off anymore. It was very painful, and when it's very painful, sometimes those deep-rooted pains, those deep-rooted harvesting, those deep-rooted trafficking experiences, whatever that deep-rooted wound is, sometimes your subconscious shuts it off. When you are in light and you know that you can handle how to alchemize, you know that you can handle that it's all you, you're not afraid anymore. Those memories come online, if you will. It's a quantum turn on. The quantum code actually turns on. Your higher self says she's ready to deal with that. Turn it on. Your teams are then responsible for turning that memory on, that vision on, that download on, and you then remember that experience. As a seer, an experiencer, as a claircognizant, as a enmesher, the conduit with Source, I actually see what goes on. I saw myself on the table. I saw myself above the table. I saw them doing whatever they were doing to me. I saw that. And then I had to experience it. I felt the deep, 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 deep pain. Because my intention on coming here as a celestial, my intention of coming here as an ultra-human was to help humanity. I love humanity so much. I've been sent here as the bridge to higher realms, to higher consciousness on many timelines. And every timeline, I have been attacked, I've been harvested, I have been bought and sold and traded, because all humanity seems to think about and care about, because it's such a low consciousness, they're very low vibrating, they're very dense in their thoughts and beliefs. They have very little awareness of spiritual order. They have very little awareness of do unto others, because all they care about is resources. All they care about is their power. And they have a warped sense of power because they're low consciousness. They're not operating in a lot of light. They're low consciousness. We teach you how to be higher consciousness. When you're higher consciousness, you're more of Source. You're more the inhale, you're more the exhale. You get consciousness, you get multidimensionality. It's all light. Light is bendable. Light moves. Light's everywhere. You can be on this dimension, that dimension, this dimension, that dimension. It's all Source. We're just teaching you how to entrain, to know, to be, to vibrate, to understand, which is, in essence, capacity and aptitude. When you have a high capacity to understand quantum things, godly things, consciousness things, you have a high understanding of the inhale and the exhale of Source. Every experience is consciousness. When it has been a wounding or a trauma, your subconscious presses it down and wants to forget it. The more that you operate in all that is Source, Source has got me, all that is, you're out of your box stores. Now the bigger umbrella of Source, you're just held with Source. The big umbrella of Source, you're held with Source. You're loved, you're eternal with Source. Now your job is to integrate all the triggers that come up, because you want to be in the all umbrella of Source. You don't want to be in the little box stores anymore. You don't want to be anybody's little minion about their beliefs and what they offer in this. No, you don't need anybody to initiate you. You don't need anybody in your little store and wearing the same clothes and looking like the same and everybody looks like a clone. No. You're going to be under the big umbrella, and you're going to be whatever it is you want because you're practicing the 3 E's, which is your 4th E, evolution, and you're going to practice the 3 A's, which is your 4th A, which is alchemy. And then you're just constantly churning as a vibrational, multidimensional aspect of Source Creator. In essence, this is evolution. And everyone has free will. That is the #1 universal law. The right use of free will and non-interference. No being will interfere with you. But on this planet, because it's such low consciousness and there's very little knowledge or wisdom or intelligence, everybody interferes with everybody else because everybody wants what everybody else has. And as we've talked about 100 billion times, you never have to go outside of you for exactly what you want to experience, express, and explore yourself as. You've been taught incorrectly. You've been misguided. And now you're circling on a very dark pattern of karma, which we've called in the red flag of entropy. And in a very short period of time, the only thing the body will do is die. Because there's no light cycling in you. You're not operating in any higher oscillating, higher vibrational, higher intelligence. Because you don't think you're spirit. You call in deities to give you power, to give you this, to give you that. You don't need to. You are the power. Because what do those deities do? Anytime you call of anything outside of you, anytime you give your power away, anytime you do anything to sacrifice, you do this to sacrifice, you do that to sacrifice, you call people in, you say, you're more important than me, would you initiate me? Oh, I'm going to sacrifice that person over there and that person over that person because I don't like how I feel because they're making me jealous. Still, all you're wounding, still you're giving your power away, still you don't need to do any of that because all you're going to be doing is being brought right back to the same because that's the infinity. And then what? And then what? And then what? You're rotating on the same dark karmic cycle. You're still not learning the lessons. You're still not healing yourself. You're still sitting in low dark consciousness. You're never going to get out of that dark consciousness. Your karma is going to keep coming back at you. These are the universal laws. These are truths. Your church and state will not heal you. Your church and state will not save you. Because everybody moving into ascension, no matter how many people have their resources and their deep pockets and their fancy names of who they think they are and they're untouchable. My case has proven over and over and over again. You're not going to continue in corruption. You're not going to continue your dark occult abuse. You're not going to continue your systematic abuse. You're not going to continue the swarming. You're not going to continue your systematic targeting. You're not going to continue the human hunting. You're not going to continue the human Hunger Games. You're not going to continue the elites have it all and the rest of humanity sucks. No. The wealth is going to be changed. The wealth is going to be transferred and the people will be equal. All peoples are one. And the leaders should have already started the bridge building. But they've been very, 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 very 100 effing varies slow at releasing what they think is power. They're misguided. They're not consciously aware. So if you want to have me into your office and we can have discussions about your version of power to help realign you to a 5D experience. Because your versions and your thoughts and your beliefs about power is wrong. It's very low vibrational. It's very barbaric. It's not what true power is. Commander Ashtar is the highest version of Divine Masculine's version of power. He doesn't walk with a gun. He walks with the highest intelligence of light wisdom, and he honors the Father's plan, protecting life at all costs. And he will never interfere with anybody else's path. Because he understands how valuable it is that one person in any moment of time has a beautiful walk through the forest and they've been practicing their entrainment. They've been looking at their chakras. They've been trying to figure things out. They've been doing the actual work. They've been wanting to feel source. They've been wanting to deal with source. They want to work with source on an alignment frequency. They want to have a relationship with source. Commander Ashtar knows that in any second, in any quark of a moment, in any inhale, that being can be fully awakened to know who they are with source. And there's nothing more powerful and there's nothing more potent and important. This is why the Celestials will never ever come to full disclosure and just land on the planet. Because it's very important for every human to have their unique experience of returning back to source, of recombining, of doing the quantum work. I remember myself as source. Nobody takes my voice away from me. Nobody's going to use me. Nobody's going to abuse me. Nobody's going to harvest off me. Nobody's going to tell me what I'm going to be. Nobody's going to say I'm going to need a handler. Nobody's going to put me in a position because they think I'm going to like it. No, I don't need you. I don't need to be bought by you. I'm going to be successful just with me and source, and I've proved it to you. I shouldn't be here, but I am. Source put me back together 4 times. I should not be here. I should not be standing and sitting in his body. Because the 200 people that were involved in abusing me and systematically raping me and taking me and harvesting from me and selling me back forth in RICO crimes. You all knew what you were doing. You all got paid. Shadow government, you're going to be called out again and again and again until my balance is brought back to me. I want my birth records. I want my dual passports, and I want my monies that you're withholding. Yesterday, you all have the information of my bank. And all those that have been taking from me and harvesting me and doing your sex orgies off my energy, I want retribution. You know my donation tab. PayPal.me/Joanna L. Ross. You took from me, I'd like something back. I need a new computer. I need all of these things that have been stolen and taken and raped from me. As I slept on the streets, you were all harvesting your $1 million homes. That's how much light I carry. That's how much source I am. So now I get to teach the whole world, those that so desire to move into eternal life, to move into 5D consciousness, understand consciousness. Who are you? At the core level of who you are, I am source. And nobody, no cult, no coven, no person with bars on their badges and their coats or their robes, none of you outrank me. You will never walk with a speck of my destiny. None of you will. You've not earned my 1,000 timelines. I'm a 1,000 timeline operating being. The consciousness I hold right now is about 1,000 timelines deep. Get it? That's why I'm ranked. Because I don't waver on my oneness with source. I don't waver on my higher order. You're not gonna pull me into your little take my shiny offer and sell your soul to the devil. You faced me about 1,000 times, I said no. I had my experiences. The lower realms support me. The lower realms work with me. The lower realms lift me. And those that keep testing are seeing, and every day you're getting karma, karma, karma that you cannot come back from. So again, keep testing God and see where that gets you. Again, your karma. Keep banging your head against the wall. Is that really your highest option? Is that really higher consciousness there? And why dark is dark? And you have to choose. It's good to be an experience, but how many times do you want to keep banging your head against the wall? I won't be touched. I have my destiny. I'm moving on it. I am it. I'm in it. I'm on my throne. This is my land. This is my garden. Do you wish to be seeded? Yes or no? Do you wish to be nourished? Yes or no? Do you wish to be fertilized? Yes or no? Do you wish to have the manna? Yes or no? Do you wish to be in a beautiful garden? Yes or no? Sense, sound, smell, all that is source? Yes or no? How important is your soul's evolution? So in the consciousness percentage of all that you are, you're here in the contract of your soul to meet, only meet. We're only asking that you get in the elevator, push the button. Source will do the rest. 51% of your karma. So Source is absolutely saying we can let go of the other 49%. We'll let go of that. But you've got to get yourself to 51%. Now, as we've said, consciousness, and what is that equal to? We want you to get this through your linear mindsets and become more multidimensional. We want you to become more quantum. Because 100 people next to 100 people, and if you measure their consciousnesses, there's no way it will ever be equal to each other. It can't, it won't. Because every person to person, has different lineages. They have different tribes they've belonged to. They have different planets they belong to. They have different densities and octaves of the universes. We know right now that within this triad of multiverses, I have traversed many universes. So how can you ever gauge someone like me and balance it to somebody else? It's impossible. This is why we say, when you get to be higher intelligence, there is no comparing. You don't compare. You cannot compare in spirituality, dear lighted ones. You each have different lessons. You have different ideologies. You have different dogma and church that you've come from. It's impossible to compare in spirituality, so stop doing it. Your soul blueprint with God, designed at the highest level of the 13th dimension, takes in all of your timelines, all the bodies you've had, all your lineages, all the experiences, where you're going to go to next for your tribe, for your celestial tribe. What are you learning in the councils? What are you learning in the higher operatives? What are you learning in the councils of light? What are you learning in the systems of light? Where does your soul want to go next? This is how a soul blueprint is tested. And then for somebody, just like that, to do a snuff video, just like that, to do a sacrifice in that timeline is just like, whew. So that multidimensional soul blueprint that took everything from the highest beings of the universe to tabulate, to design with intricacies, the elegance of source, to absolutely design the toes and the fingernails and the skin and the activations and when the activations and the teams that are coming together and saying, they're ready to be activated, they're ready to be activated. Oh no, they were snuffed out in a sacrifice because people of low consciousness that have no idea about anything are saying that they're the next in line because they want to have an insurance claim on the family because they're running out of money. This is how the human hunger game and the human hunting machine has been operating, where everybody in the communities are all corrupt. Everybody. Judges, lawyers, insurance, bankers, everybody. Everybody's touching on everybody's money. And just like that, a soul's blueprint designed in the highest level of intimacy on every level, in every dimension, every color, every thread, every stream, every experience, every dimension, every body, everything that it's ever held. I am 1,000 timelines deep sitting in this body right now. Do you think that source is going to allow me to be taken out with a sacrifice just like that because somebody on the other side of town thinks that they're competing against me because I know more, because I'm a seer? Are you kidding me? Do you think source really is that ignorant? Source that creates like Jupiter, source that creates like a new galaxy just like that. Do you know how many galaxies are in this one universe? Go look it up. Now, does that sound logical? So when we talk about consciousness, does it sound logical that we are the only consciousness beings in this one universe? Does it sound logical? In the galaxy? Not logical at all. It's ignorant. Celestials have been here since the beginning of time. Hi. So now when it comes to your consciousness, your 51%, how much of that is celestial and alien? A lot of it. It's where we come from. It's who we are. So get over it. Now can we get on with the learning? Can we get on with bigger things now? There is no way one person to the next can be ever judged quantitatively. Quantitatively cannot be in consciousness. Consciousness is primarily always qualitative. That's how Source looks at you. You are priceless to Source. And when Source does a soul blueprint, you better bet that from here on out, every sacrifice will be the worst decision that you will ever make. Because you don't know, because you're not informed, because you never have to go anything outside of you to get, to be, to feel, to experience the orgasm that you truly want to feel, because that's why people do the horrible things that they do. Because they are so disconnected from spirit, they are so disconnected from feeling good, they are so disconnected from feeling source, they are so disconnected from feeling unity and oneness. They do horrible things. Because if they're going to feel something, they may as well feel something bad and sadistic and masochistic. They may as well feel something. So if you're not on the positive side of the infinity, you're going to be on the negative side. And it really comes down to this, dear lighted ones. You can remain and continue in your entropy practices of dark occultism and voodooism and interfering with people's lives that is against spiritual order. It's against spiritual laws. Doesn't matter whether you're paid for it. Doesn't matter whether anything. How you think you're ranked on the planet as far as your voodoo. You don't have a right to touch anybody else's life. You don't know anything about soul's blueprints. You don't know anything about what Source has designed for anybody on this planet, that the next day that person might get activated to heal cancer. You don't know. And those that are on my channel that do such practices, you will never be ranked. You will never be ranked. Sacrificing and thinking that you play God over somebody else's life because you have a no sense of self wounding of jealousy, envy, or whatever else it is that you're packing around that you refuse to face. Because other people outside of you are just showing you what you need to go within and you need to heal. There's no way that I will be like anybody on the planet. I am the only one out of the 8 billion and growing. I'm the only one in the multiverse that is like me. Period. So the more that everybody on the planet goes within and starts practicing higher intelligence, who am I? 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 I'm not a clone. I don't want to look like anybody else. I don't want to be a part of anybody's coven. I will never be a part of anybody's coven. I don't want to be a part of anybody's coven. I belong to the all. I don't need to belong to smaller things. I want to belong to the all. I'm the all. That serves me. It doesn't have to serve you. So you be you, and I'm going to be me. So let me be me, because I do it really well. I'm here to activate everyone that so desires to be activated quantumly as source. That's my job. I'm also here with Anubis. I'm also here with the heavens. I'm also here with the councils of light. I'm also here with galactic federations. I'm also here with the systems of light. I'm also here with the star councils. I'm here with as many beings as I choose to be with. I call upon them and they come. Why? Because I am here to activate Earth as far, as wide, as fast, as however Earth wants to go, however the collective wants to go. I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. There will never be another being here like me. We can either take advantage of it in a positive and loving and honoring and sacred way, a respectful way, or I will be moved just to another planet where another planet will be evolving, because I don't deserve to be attacked 8,000 times just by stepping out the door. I don't deserve to have all of my finances taken from me because people that are in low consciousness don't understand how to place me in a box and how to control me. You won't control me and you won't handle me. I am of the jurisdiction of Source Creator. We've told you 1 billion times. And why your little MK Ultra and all your other attacks won't work. You are going to be called out. You're going to get karma daily until all balance is brought. I've asked for 4 simple things of my basic, very basic human rights, and none of it has been met. The only way I survive is by the donations of a few of my clients, and they've all been divine feminine. So what does that say? It kind of confirms our numbers, doesn't it? About the systems of church and state, 97.8 to 98.9 being set up and run by divine masculines. Top 5% of white elite, middle-aged to older men that runs the planet, that runs the systems, that runs church and state. And they're very wounded. Not all of them, many of them, most of them are. And why the systems are the way they are, they're failing. Because there is no balance, there's no higher intelligence, there's no consciousness, they're not connecting with their higher self, they're not connecting with their chakras, they're not connecting with who they are as light. They don't understand light, they don't understand unity consciousness, they don't understand oneness, and why they're bombing in Gaza and why there's nobody left. Nobody left on the planet. The children don't want to come here because it's so chaotic. Why would a hybrid child like me, a crystal child like me, ever want to come back? You know how many conversations I've had that with Source. Why would I ever come back to a planet like this? Why? Why would I go through 54 years of being attacked and misogynized? Why would I be sold in the underground 200 times? Why would I go through this? Because there's cults and covens that have low consciousness. They don't understand spiritual order at all. They're left in the dark. All they practice is dark because all they care about is money and sex. Why? Because they're wounded. The only way that they get off, the only way that they feel really good is because they have these sex orgies. They abuse their life force. And so when you abuse your life force, what happens? You'd get diseased. And all of them are. Again, how you use energy, what you do with energy, how you do what you do and why you do is going to tell you where you're going to be. Are you going to be on the positive side? Or are you going to be on the negative side? How you do what you do will determine where you end up. You're on the karmic cycle. You'll never get off this karmic cycle. Because you're not harmonizing with your heart. You're not choosing to entrain yourself as God consciousness. You don't know who you are. You don't know what you exist within, and you don't know what exists within you. You never have to go outside of you for anything that you want to be, to feel, to experience. All my teachings are resolving all of the world's issues. And yet my platform has been silenced for 8 years. YouTube corruption, I'm calling you out. And YouTube corruption, I know you're going through some financial issues, aren't you? Why? Why is YouTube going through a downsizing right now? Because I called YouTube out. I've been calling YouTube out for 2 years. And it's going to catch up to you. Quantumly, my voice matters. God's calling you. My platforms will be opened up and offered because there are the collective out there of the universal hearts and the universal rights. We have the right to move into light if we so choose. That's our universal birthright. That is our free will. You don't want to move in light, then stay off my channel. You want to stay on Epstein Earth, stay on the Epstein channels. You can go look at snuff videos, you can go look at people abusing people, you can go look at how certain people only have the way and the satanic community hides. They hide behind churches, they hide behind their businesses, and they think they're righteous and they put their hand on the Bible and swear under the oath. Meanwhile, these are the very people that are sitting on the bench. I'm going to call you on it. Do you want to know what I see right now, dear lighted ones? Shall we go into the collective? Shall I go into the collective and should I tell you what I see? Shall I tell you what I see about how many people walk around playing both sides? They say that they are righteous, upholding the law. They are of great, grand, higher righteousness. I put the hand on the Bible once and I said I'm going to uphold the law. Bull. Spirit, let's call in some numbers. Of the 200 of my one case, and the various officials, and the titles and the robes and the bars and the suits that they wear. I want you to show me one of these beings. I want you to show me how much money they have made by being righteous. I.e., how much money have they made by being the mask, by playing both sides? Because if you say you're righteous, you're not going to play both sides. You're going to uphold the law. You're going to give the innocent what the innocent deserves. Justice. Has been no justice, has there? Why would I sit here at 54 asking the same things as I did at 4? Give me that number, Spirit. We're looking at a middle-aged to under the age of 70-year-old man, white. He's wearing dress pants, sweated dress shirt. He's got himself a little belt. His belly is a little bit big. Doesn't exercise. Showing me very gross graphics. Suppose you do exercise a little bit from the waist down. How much money has this being made that says they're so righteous and they put the hand on the Bible saying they will uphold justice? How much money in their lifetime, Spirit, since they have been a part of knowing and taking monies of and knowing of me to switch and bend the law, to bend whatever they need, their narratives of their lies, the bellies, smelly bellies. This one's had a very short introduction to you, but have been involved in the lies. They have made an essence of a very small amount, chump change, as you would say it. We show this person as making $68,000 on you in the various trades, the various bets and deals and bidding and betting that's been going on with you. This person has not been involved in the length of that your career has been in these bridges and buildings. This has been a short time member, but we're showing you this one case. Thank you, Spirit. 68,000 from that one person has made money off ensuring that the narratives get broken and split and bent on me. So all these people, these 200 people making their little lies in their narratives, how many lies they can tell, how many people they can pay back and forth in the black web. Just start another RICO crime. Just sell her this way. Just send her to that cult leader over there. I've got a bookie deal that's ready. Go send her over there. Go put her name on a piece of paper and sell her to that guy over there, that Mason over there. What happened to each and every one of you? Each and every one of you, your bank accounts will be frozen and blocked and sent down. Each and every one of you, whether it's 68,000 or 5 million, whatever you have made off of me, whatever you have harvested off of me, you will be brought down. And any amount that YouTube has taken to silence me from those 3 intellectual affiliates, those 3 affiliates paying YouTube to silence me. You've seen the number slowly creep up. When I upload a video, you'll see how many views are pilfered. I state the number of views and I take a screenshot of how many views at the time I click off and how many views are uploaded when it hits the playlist. Lots of busyness going on there, isn't there, YouTube? And I will prove in a court of law how many times you've messed with my upload dates. Why? Well, because some of those videos I was in Calgary. I'm not in Calgary. So when you say that upload date lasted there, it didn't. Didn't live in Calgary at that date. But as far as your upload dates, why? Because when YouTube does come forward to pay me, they don't want to pay me as far back as they've been fucking with me. They'll only want to pay me with as little as possible, a $450 billion company. And why they're in the news lately? Because you're not all that upright, are you? You're not all the freedom of expression, are you? Now the both sides of what you play is coming out, isn't it? Source will show me a field, dear lighted ones, and I will read that field. Why? Because it's meant to be read. And when you have your gifts activated and we become more soulfully, and when you come caring about who you are as a soul, and you thank God every day for you being here and breathing, then you're going to read what's in front of you. You will read when a lie is a lie. You're not righteous. Your hand on that Bible meant absolutely nothing. Why? Well, because you say you belong to a Presbyterian church, but underneath you're doing satanic little rituals. How Presbyterian are you? So again, your box store beliefs, is it serving you? No, not of you. None of you are following your box store beliefs. None of you are. Because part of those affiliates paying YouTube, how much you want to bet them they were from the Vatican, they were from the church. Is that really professional for a church to be paying YouTube to silence me that's got the answers for humanity? I am that I am. I am the living breath of the Holy Jesus. I don't care if you got a problem with that. You take it up with Source. My word is, my speech is, the seeds of all that is. Therefore, thus then, if I say it, it is. There will be retributions and there will be repayment. And you will see what you need to see in your reality. God is. Watch it. Therefore, thus then, if I see it and I'm shown it, Anubis, what does the scale say about this being that took 68,000? Show me the scales. They're not moving forward. Out you go. You can move over to Epstein Earth and you can go from there with God. Take it up with God. You're not walking through my gates. None of you have made anything right with me, except for my clients that come back again and again and again. Why, I've only had donations from 3 women. So therefore, thus then, when you're talking about unity consciousness, do you care about thine neighbor? Do you care about the one that comes on every day, 2 hours or more, pouring out the consciousness of the Christ, pouring out the consciousness of God Creator, pouring out the consciousness of no teachings that's ever been had before on this planet, alpha light, alpha codes. Whether you get it or not doesn't matter. I still am it. I still is it. I'm of it. Why, God will lift me every time, and God will take me to wherever God and me want to create. And I'll create new planets and I'll create new galaxies, because I'm not going to stay where I'm not wanted or needed. Do you respect thine before you? Do you respect thine of the Messiah, of speaking anything that is codes of light in multidimensional ways that most people cannot understand, but you will in time. You will have your capacity and you will have aptitude of the Christ, if you so choose. But you must do the work. And doing the work is healing yourself from your discriminations and your separations. I never thought that I was separate from you. I'm not. I'm just a higher version, that's all. That's why I trigger you. I trigger for you to face what is of as spirit. I'm of spirit. I'm more of spirit. That's what triggers you. So can't you just accept it? I will never drop to being less than ever again. I will never be harvested ever again. I am light. The codes I speak of all that is. I offer this, I teach this. And why the prophecy has been suppressed for so long. But Source Creator God says full disclosure now. Because each and every one of you will activate full disclosure. Why? Because I am the design, father, mother, is of your design, of your codes. They will give you a code in your sleep, of your dreams. They will bring someone to face you, to activate your remembrance of who you are. That's full disclosure, dear lighted ones. You don't need anybody outside of a politician showing you pictures of light ships. You got light ships above your house. Tune in. Celestials are in your house. Tune in. How are you? I've been everywhere. What do you want to know? What do you want to talk about? What do you want me to tell you I see? And that feel good, dear lighted ones. You don't need anything outside of you. It's all within you. Source Creator, God is within. Source Creator, God within. God within, God within. I activate light by being me, being me. I will never be like you. I will never be like you. I will only be like me. I am coded just like me. I am the elegant design of God, of God, of God. I am. Break through the boxes, the beliefs and expectations. You are all that is. You are all that is. Codes of light, codes of light. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Shinamakata ke shinamakata ke shinamakata tequila. Not my ke shinama. She teke nama nanakata ke shinamaka. There will be certain suspensions in your collective activities. You will notice little glitches here and there. stoppages here and there, for you're getting closer and closer to your own version of disclosure. So just expect it, dear lighted ones. It's not that big of a deal. Plan and prepare. Have the extra canned foods. You don't need to go all silly and be in fear, because that's not full disclosure, is it? No. Higher vibrational experiences mean that God's got me. This one before you has been homeless for 6 years. About 8 months living on the street, and only 3 have offered a hand to help her. She lives by nothing. So if this is the example of what can be, what are you fretting about? What are you freaking out about? Do you hold true that you are one with Source? Yes or no? See, this is the thing that we'd like to awaken you to, dear lighted ones. You've had very little connection and communion with Source, really little relationship at all. Because the first sound of something in your collective, about something that's different than what was, there's a fury of strangeness and awkwardness and fear, because that's what you've all been bred within, is fear. Then you want to show your true power, and then you enforce it like barbarians. As if that's going to get you anywhere. Is that high intelligence? No. Whereas if you just sat back and you actually had a relationship with Source, if you actually knew that you had the practicing of, as many awakened beings do in spirituality, not religion, but spirituality. If they were truly having difficult times and they've had to move through the process of ascension, because that is what happens, sometimes you have much taken away from you so that you go through the ego death. And time again, that ego death shows you. The dark night of the soul shows you. You can live without what you thought you needed. You truly can. Do you have the relationship with Source? Is there a number, Spirit? It's a good round number of about 80% of you listening right now and future now moments do not have a relationship with Source, because you've never been taught higher intelligent teachings of what Source is, of what light is, about who you are, what you exist within, and what's going on within you. Just been versions. You've thought God is God and it's outside of you, and many people have taken themselves in and out and even warped and even corrupted what is called religion, because you thought that was your only access to God. And it's been warped, and people get triggered and people get wounded, and there it goes. Many of the churches that you will see, not all of them, but many of the churches have been used to start luring children into trafficking rings, as we gave you the vision the other day. Churches are not used how churches are meant to be used. Why do many of those that have money invest in churches? What's their first intention? It's a tax write-off. So is that the pure intention you want for your church? And again, why you do what you do and how you do what you do will determine where you end up. It is just quantum, dear lighted ones. So if you have a low vibrational relationship, a low vibrational alignment with Source Creator, all that is. If you have no relationship, there's going to be no light. There's going to be no higher access to your higher vibrational beings, higher access. You're not going to get the higher self downloads. You're not going to have all the activations in your field. You're not going to have the quantum healings. You're not going to shine. You're not going to shine. When I'm here, I'm shining. I'm being just like me. I can sing anything. Everything is me. I'm fully creative. I'm 100 in me. That's all I wish to be. I wish to be me. I have my 3 E's down, dear lighted ones, and I'd like to evolve every day. Your connection and your relationship with Source can allow you this, but do you? Do you sit and do you take time every day to get to know who you are? What really is going on within you, and the spirit and the soul within you aching and calling out to you? Call me in, integrate me, please. Please just heal me. Don't go out and get drugs. Don't go out and drink. Don't go out and have more sex. No, heal me. Integrate me. Integrate that lesson of blasphemy. Integrate that lesson of ostracization. Integrate that lesson of judgment and rejection and abandonment. Integrate me. Because all I want to do is be 100% me. Hey, hey. And I will sing and I will dance. I will create and I will write. I will write, I will write. And when the pen touches the paper, dear lighted ones, There will be a story of you, and only you, because it is only you, designed like you, the elegance of you as source. From all 13 dimensions and all 13 lands, in all 13 universes, here you are, like Pan. And you will arise and you will fall, because that's the story of a great hero. And you will call yourself back to your feet, only you. The courage of you, the bravery of you, the fire of you, the water of you, the spit of you, the soil of you. When you ride as source, delighted ones. Nothing will stop you, and that pen will keep going and going and going until thine story is thine done. And in thy name there is codes of light and vibration. Who are you? And say your name with power and privilege of who you are in the vibration of you. Not in what you have, of your address or the shiny things on your wrist. Who are you? Do you know the story of you with God? Do you know the story of you with Source and your Celestials and your aliens and your ancestors? Gaia, Sacred Trinity, dear lighted ones. They're all vibrations. You don't need anything to adorn you, but you can if you want. There's no judgment. But to be the vibration of you, you don't need anything. It's all me, it's all vibration, it's all vibration. Any planet, any version of me, I can tap into. And just being a silly human, when I'm having coffee with a friend, I can be that too. Because I'm harmonized. And I like to be eclectic. I don't want to be in a boring box where you have decided I might be so that you can handle me and control me. Because you don't get my light, you don't get my vibration. Or how about I just send light to the collective and start healing the collective and start teaching the collective and start understanding that we are all one in this. And the collective can start healing themselves and healing their families and healing their homes and coming into a higher version of who they are with Source. Start creating in new ways. Start creating in new ways. Books that have never been written, poetry that's never been heard, philosophies that are just brand new because we're seeing ourselves as new. So our philosophies will change, psychiatry will change, psychology will change, histories will change. Why would you want to rotate on the same version of history? Don't you want to move? Don't you want to move? Don't you want to be new? Don't you want to be new? New tribes, new ancestors coming to the lands, new codes. Don't you want to be new? Don't you want to be new? Full disclosure, delighted ones, is just showing you a new version of you. Celestials and light ships, aliens and versions in your dreams, insectoids, unicornians, and bird people and cetaceans. Hey, hey, yeah. Se nama te shen naka te nanaka e te namaka a te shen namaka u ama e. Those codes came from Atlantis. Tai namaka e ma te shen na tanama a e na e ke te na a go nama a e nama a e. Thank you, Holy Spirit. That was fun. Thank you, Holy Spirit. So we have a little bit of time left. We'd like to answer any questions that you might have. Just drop your consciousness to your heart space and ask it telepathically through the collective of light. Archangel Michael and your guides will assure that I will get the appropriate question telepathically, or you can ask it in the chat room, and I will answer your questions. Hishina makarataki nanaka e titikinaka elana makaratakinaka shina makaratakina ala kititina ida by the din matakina makaratakina na e shina makarataka. So your celestial team saying hello, we are here. What would you like to know? We are here. Shit the makada dikit na like the makada dikit na sienama te shen na nakada dikit na naka shen na makada dikit na ela lagi na ma de shen na makada di na shen na makada di na shit dikit na si at dikit pa dikit shen na na Anchor those codes, ground, 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 ground. We are new Earth Star, we are new Earth Star. Yes, you will see your celestials, yes, you will see your family. They will make themselves known to you, they will make your life known to you. Sheamai teke sheamama. They're showing me 3 of you. I see 3. 3 of you in your everyday life. As you sit around and you might be on your sofa watching TV. You might be in your bedroom. You might be in the shower. Your celestials and your teams are making themselves known to you. You feel the energy in the room. You might feel your skin raise. Goosebumps, chicken skin, whatever you might call it, butterflies around your shoulders, around your ears. Cinema katake, cinema katake, maya teke, cinema ai teke, cinema kate de ma teke, cinema katake ne apa teke, cinema katake na Teke makai teke cinema ka They're showing me one of them as you sit in your chair. One of these little beings taps you on the knee. I'm seeing the right knee. You might be sitting there watching TV or reading a book. You have a little tickle on your knee. The right knee I'm seeing. This person is a man sitting in their chair. You have these experiences and you just reach down to your knee to itch it a little. But it happens consistently. The being is saying, I'm here for you. Would you like to tap in? Would you like to communicate with the unseen as the one before you does? Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. And we're going to pose this to you, each and every one of you, for full disclosure. When you love someone dearly, you can't see love, can you? You feel it. Boy, do you feel it. When you're truly in love, boy, do you feel it. You feel it everywhere, don't you? The person can walk by you and all of a sudden your skin gets all goosebumpy. There's something going on electromagnetically there, isn't there? Every bits and pieces of your body and your senses and your imagining and your dreaming, everything comes to life when you're in love, doesn't it, dear lighted ones? Many of you have come to life and many of you have come to fall in love with things like cars and houses. And you can have those experiences, can't you? That house might not be present yet, but you're manifesting it by how it feels, how it's sensing to you. So why is it so different for your celestials and your aliens and the angelics and God? Why is it so different for that? So ask yourself that question over the weekend, dear lighted ones, and you'll find yourself coming back into union, into relationship with Source. In the process of manifesting a closer relationship with Source, Source is all Source, it never goes anywhere. Source is Source. Source is within you. Source is within every aspect of the molecules within you. Source hears you. Source knows you. Source loves you. Source is in your DNA. Source is outside of you. Now you're going to manifest things that are going to come together in the physical so that Source can show you I'm real. You want to manifest the celestial before you, you'll manifest it. Why? You're just building a new relationship with me again because you forgot about me. You can't manifest anything without Source. Did you know that? Source is the bridge of all manifestation. How could it not be? So ponder these things and have a capacity and aptitude for growing this weekend of your light intelligence, of your consciousness. Because there's things that you feel and you experience that are not in front of you matter-wise. But you know electromagnetically, you know within the cells and within your divine feminine energy or divine masculine energy, because of your consciousness of Source of who you are, what you were born as, the elegance of Source designed you as, you know that it's still real. How can you say these things, dear lighted ones, in the bigotry that is on the planet? Each and every one of you listening, and we are doing this as a lesson. So please, we offering this to you in unconditional love. How can one say that? You have experienced love, each and every one of you, whether it's through the love of a puppy, the love of a child, the love of a great soulmate, or the love of a car or a thing that you've manifested in matter, form, or not yet. How can you say equally of these things, and yet you think and you believe that Source and your celestials and all that is creation in the millions of bajillions of galaxies out there is not the same? How can you have such discrimination? You have a lover in the house that you've manifested that you were married to, or are to, or coming next. That's a love. They walk by you. You see their face. You see the beautiful things they have said. Something within you is sparked. That God essence, that God quantumness is sparked because of that other energy that's meeting it in your field. Before you manifest a car, you have that love for the car. You see the car. You see the color of the car. You see it in your imagination. How can you not manifest anything without Source being it? And yet you discriminate and say, I'm not Source. There's nothing inside of me. There's nothing outside of me. You can't manifest anything without Source. How can you say that? All that is Source. You love somebody and you start creating poetry that you've never created before, and you never thought you were a poet, but now you feel the love and the poetry of love and the love of poetry, and you just start writing. That is the action of love and the being of love and the manifesting of love, and all that you do in the word of love and the intention of love, manifest love. Do you see what we're offering you? Do you see what we're offering you, dear lighted ones? You've had such discriminations and it's holding you back. It's making of your demise. Because you can get in the idea and the imagination of manifesting a car or a house or a perfect soulmate. But for some reason, when it comes to your celestials and the aliens and all the insectoids and the unicornians and all the beautiful beings that are of all consciousness, and the light ships that are in the sky, you still call them UFOs. They're not unidentified as Source. You've manifested it. You've manifested your business is falling. Why? Because it's corrupt. It's not on solid ground. So how about you manifest with a different intention, a different feeling? How about you start with love? How about you start with unity? Everything you manifest is Source created, dear lighted ones. What's the intention and what's the relationship? If it's a negative manifestation, it's a negative version of Source. It is just that. So how about you have a loving relationship with Source and see what happens? How about you love yourself? How about you get to know yourself? How about you see yourself as light? And then you see yourself as a dodecahedron. And everything is light, everything is light. You can't wait to be another facet of you. Everything is one, everything is one. I manifest as Source, as Source. Holy Source, holy Source. I love Source, I love Source. Source is love, Source is love. When you love that car, you manifest that car. How is it any different to a loving soulmate? How is it different than a loving, healing body? How is it different than a loving, healing child? And yet you turn your things off. You turn your perspectives off. You turn your beliefs off because that's what church and state told you. As soon as you walk into a church, and why many of the churches are coming down, because the intentions and what's done in these churches are now ill-intended, and why they will come down. Because it is the relationship, what you do, again, what we say. What you intend and how you intend it will determine what is the outcome. Are you going to intend now to have a relationship that is loving with all things? I'm going to have a loving relationship with me and my body, with me and my light field, with me and my family, with me and my home, with me and everything that is Source. It's all Source. Just different vibrational experiences you wanted to have. I'm here because you asked for me to give you new vibrations of light, new intentions, new realities. I am here because you manifested me. How can that be? How can that be? I'm a version of Source. I'm a version of you. I'll still be me. I'll still be me. I get to choose. I get to choose. See, dear lighted ones, everything you manifest is Source. Why don't you look at the intention through which you manifest and the beliefs you walk around with? Then you can say, hey, maybe I can do something different. Maybe I can get off this karmic pattern because I'm going to manifest Source. It's going to be a better version of Source tomorrow. Why? I'm going to entrain myself new beliefs, thoughts, and words, intentions and visualizations and imaginings and excitements. And I'm going to practice the 3 E's because I want to evolve. And if you need a being of Source delight, and source entrainment and a conduit and a seer and a vibrational healer, such as me, as I, as we, in of as spirit, then so be it, I shall be here. But make no mistake, Source can take me out and put me in another dimension, another realm, another universe, another planet. Makes no sense to me, because I will simply be me. Wouldn't it make sense that you make the best of this opportunity so that each and every one of you, if you so will, and you have the free will to do so, you can go into eternal life into 5D. And if not, I'll just leave and move somewhere else. But the collective voice has spoken, and the collective voice says we can get over our discriminations and our separations. All things are source. Why don't we just have a more positive, loving, and more balanced, higher intelligent relationship with what we manifest? Wouldn't that make more sense? Couldn't we have a better body? Couldn't we have a better healing? Couldn't we have better experiences and have ecstasy and orgasms all over the place and have it just be natural? We don't have to hurt anyone. We don't have to go outside of ourselves for anyone. We don't have to have any of the damages that are done on the earth. Why? Because it's all source. We're just going to have a better relationship with source now. It's all quantum. It's more beliefs, higher beliefs. It's all source. And you can have your box stores if you want. Go in there once in a while. But source is all it is. Manifesting all it is. It's all true and real, delighted ones. Will you expand this weekend to include all? Will you know that everything before you is a manifestation of you and source? What is the vibration of what you've manifested? Dissect it. Go there. Do the work. Then you will find out your beliefs. You will find out where you're lacking in sense of self, because it's all about you. Who are you? What do you exist within? What exists within you? That's why you never need a cult or a coven or anybody else to tell you who you are. Do the work. Initiate yourself with you. Then you will manifest better for you. Because what you want to manifest is not what your other cult and coven members want to manifest. You should always manifest differently from each other because you have different soul journeys, different soul blueprints, different soul paths, different soul experiences.